What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett.
It's Lance.
This is Rants or Us. Today we're going to be discussing who Jason Mamoa played better, Khal Drogo or Aquaman. What do you think?
Khal Drogo.
Khal Drogo? I would almost say Aquaman.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because Khal Drogo really had a made-up language.
This is true.
We didn't really know exactly what he was saying on that.
I kind of hated. I know they had to go by the books to an extent, but I kind of hated that we got into that character just for him to die like 6 episodes later.
That's the kind of bad thing about it. In the first book, he actually makes it to the end of the book.
Yeah.
But in the show, there's only, 10 episodes?
10 episodes, yeah.
So it's not like, he was around for very long. But he did make a lasting impression.
Definitely.
And
to the end.
I mean, because fans, I think probably out of all the deaths in Game of Thrones, his death was probably the one that probably bothered fans.
I think it bothered me so much because he was way already dead before she killed him.
And she kind of murdered him.
He was just brain dead.
Which I never understood it in the books. I never understood why she was like, okay, well, a life for a life. I'll trade a life for a life. And that's fine. But then she's like, oh, well, I'm so caring and loving, but yet she thought it was going to be like a horse that was going to die.
She did.
Well, she didn't
even.
That's not the way blood magic works.
She didn't even trade a life for a life. I mean, he was brain dead. Her kid didn't come back, so
No.
she lost out on.
Yeah,
both
she lost
ends.
both of them. Why would you trust somebody that was basically your slave in the first place? Basically told you that she didn't like you. Anyway, she was a witch, for goodness sakes. I mean, these the Dothroki. Yeah, the Dothroki actually warned her both in the books and in the series not to trust this woman. Yet she did it anyways.
Because Daenerys was cocky.
She really was. That's the thing in the beginning of the books and even in the series. She starts out real kind of naive but cocky at the same time. She thinks, well, I'm a Targaryen, but also
always over confident. She knew that her brother didn't have the dragon blood because she could pick up the eggs and stuff like that and not burn herself. So she's like, I ain't scared of him no more. Yeah. Plus, I have a Dothraki army that if he hits me again, we'll just kill him. Yeah, basically. which is kind of funny because in the beginning of the book and even in the beginning of the series, she's so dependent upon her brother. She's scared of him, but she also does kind of believe him. And then when she actually kind of gets around real men, she actually starts realizing, oh crap, he's a wuss. Yeah. I mean, I can think of a stronger word when I'm calling. But I won't say it for YouTube. But when it comes to Khal Drogo, I feel like Khal Drogo, yes, he has some good moments, but... Well, other than having more lines than Aquaman, what makes you think he was better as Aquaman?
Well, what did Khal Drogo really exactly do? He basically boned his wife, he rode a horse, and he killed a man with a scythe. Oh, yeah, he had bells in his hair. So basically, what Jason Mamoa did, he's got some kind of cat fetish or something.
I guess technically...
He went from having bells in his hair to attract cats to actually Aquaman and smelling like fish.
Now, I guess if you, in Game of Thrones, he kept his word.
Remember that, Jason Mamoa? You have a cat fetish.
He did keep his word in Game of Thrones. He did give that guy a golden crown.
Mm-hmm. I'll go get beat up with Jason Mamoa. You know that, right? My name is Lance. Just to be on the same side. But to be honest, he really actually wasn't. I didn't really think he was that great of a character as Khal Drogo myself because I'm he didn't really do a lot.
He really didn't.
I mean, but at the same time, what did he do in Aquaman? He stayed in a lighthouse for a long time.
Talked to fish,
fell in love with a dolphin or some junk like that. I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's the deep I'm thinking of.
Forget that part. Sorry about that, Jason Mamoa. I did not see you fell in love with the dolphin. You know that. But that being said,
I thought Aquaman was pretty good.
I thought he did pretty good as Aquaman.
Yeah.
I thought he kind of made Aquaman his own character.
He definitely made Aquaman better than the comic.
Way better.
Cartoons or stuff we grew up watching.
Look,
when I first heard they were doing an Aquaman movie, I was like, I have no interest in watching this. There's no way I'm going to.
Even his suit, like in the comics, his suit looks so stupid. His suit looks so stupid. But he actually kind of owned that. And I thought that part was, I thought he looked tougher than what I imagine Aquaman. Like, this is how weird 2020 has got. We've got Mr. Twilight as Batman. So now we've got like this glittery Batman that looks like he just come from like a RuPaul Halloween.
Well, he can brood real good. That's kind of Batman's
he can brood.
MO.
I mean,
I'm so sad that I'm rich, or I don't know.
But I kind of feel like, I think he's got that part down. It's kind of funny now that it's been 20 years since we've actually got an American to actually play Batman. Why don't they just go to like any Yankees game and just get like any of those guys to just play that part? The way I look at it, because I'm like, why get these little, these British guys to play the part of it? Like, I think they need like a true New Yorker to play that part. They need my wife.
No.
My wife's a New Yorker, just to be honest. But no, I feel like the Aquaman that we grew up with was the Aquaman that Robot Chicken made fun of.
So do you think DC's gearing up for a Justice League, like a good one?
That's yet to be seen. Look, don't get me wrong. I like Justice League. I actually like Jason Momoa's part in that.
See, I haven't seen it.
It's actually not that bad of a show. Like, I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, it sucks compared to, the MCU." It doesn't really, or at least not in my opinion. I mean,
I'm a DC guy.
I'm a DC guy too. I'll admit. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I like the Marvel movies. I liked all that, but
it took me forever to watch those because I grew up such DC that I didn't watch Avengers when the crap first came out.
I'm Batman all the way. Like, I'm Batman. Like, I hated there was parts in Justice League that I hated where, like, of course, Henry Cavill's computer animated thing where he make his face look like some kind of like old samurai movie where that
you're talking about Jason Mamoa.
We're getting off topic, but it revolves around people. It revolves into a circle.
It all comes back together.
Yeah, because but anyways, the Aquaman that we grew up with, was kind of like the Aquaman from he was like the Aquaman off of Robot Chicken, where the guy's like attacking a woman on the beach. He's like, "Don't make me throw a starfish at you." Like right. That was basically, that was basically the Aquaman we grew up with.
Yeah,
like,
and so then when you see Jason Mamoa, this tough guy, playing Aquaman, you kind of can take Aquaman more serious now. Like,
well, when you see Mr. Twilight as Batman, and then you see Aquaman. That was Khal Drogo.
Yeah,
you're like, who is exactly? Wow, roles have been reversed here a little bit.
Like manly Aquaman, not like a pretty boy.
I think that's what Aquaman actually needed. He needed a grittier,
different storytelling, different
kind of like
persona.
Yeah, because I feel like the one that they were going with just didn't work.
Never did. I don't know why they stuck with that version of Aquaman for 100 years or however long it really was.
Well, and they couldn't, and it would have been terrible if they would have tried to, like, let's say bring him out in the Arrowverse or something along those lines. It would have been the old original, kind of Aquaman. It wouldn't have been Jason Momoa.
Unless they got Jason Momoa to play it
now
in a episodic role, that might be.
I'm telling you, out of Khal Drogo. Yes, he might have left a lasting impression on Game of Thrones fans. But I think overall, I mean, when you're talking about comics in general, I think Jason Momoa's character as Aquaman, I think he's completely just changed the landscape of superheroes.
I think that most people that he's going to reach out to and leave a lasting impression on through being Khal Drogo are all adults and stuff like that, whereas Aquaman, he can reach a whole new generation of fans.
Yeah, they're not
a whole bigger spectrum.
They're not gonna grow. Kids,
I'm not just gonna sit there and let my kids watch Game of Thrones.
No, but my kids aren't gonna grow up thinking that Aquaman is just some wuss that goes around throwing starfish at people.
He's reaching out to a whole nother generation of fans, which makes it such a bigger spectrum. Because I'm a fan, my kids are gonna be fans, probably their kids. Like, this is gonna go on. This version of Aquaman could last for years.
Yeah. I think he's completely changed the whole picture of the way Aquaman is.
Absolutely.
Like I said, that's why 2020 is such a weird year, because everything is turned for DC.
And I think that's why him as Aquaman was so important.
I think it was.
That's why that makes that probably, in my opinion, probably the part of his career at this point.
Yeah. And think about it this way, too. They're going to make a new Justice League. I mean, they're going to, no matter how bad people said.
And they're probably going to make an Aquaman, too.
They're going to make Aquaman, too. And fans are going to be excited to see Aquaman, too. That's going to be the wonderful thing about it. It's not going to be like one of these one-off movies where kind of like they did in Star Wars with the Han Solo movie, where it's just going to be like one-off movie. You know, there's a Han Solo movie here, here's a Rogue One movie here. No, they're actually going to make a straight up quest. They're going to make a franchise.
It's going to be a franchise. Yes,
I think Aquaman has the ability to be like Marvel's Thor. I really do believe that it has that capability.
But does it have the capability to be Marvel's Iron Man?
Probably not. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have nothing against Jason Momoa. I think Jason Momoa is a great actor. Yeah, he's a great actor. He was a great Aquaman. He was a great Khal Drogo. You know what? Not very many people could have played that part of Khal Drogo as better than what he did. Like, he owned that.
Oh,
I mean, he made one of the most lasting impressions.
You know, he was in other things before that, but I didn't know.
He was in what? What was it? Not Battlestar. What was that? Stargate Atlantis. Was it Stargate? I think it was Stargate Atlantis.
I think so. I'll have to check.
And he was this. He was like this kind of like character in the. He wasn't a character in the background, but he wasn't like the main character either.
We'll have to look into that to be sure. But I think you're right.
But he was. But you know, he turned from being like somebody with he was Conan the Barbarian too.
Yeah, wasn't that after Khal Drogo?
No, I think that was before. But either way, he was he owned the part of Khal Drogo. That is, so he did make a lasting impression there. But I think as overall, who did he play better? I would say he definitely played a better.
No, at first I said Khal Drogo, but I think you're right.
Yeah, because let's face
it. Hearing it all out and talking about it, yeah, I think you're right.
You know, he had one season as Khal Drogo, but he's going to have.
He's got
3 or 4 movies.
Aquaman,
yeah, because he's going to be in the Justice League movies. He's going to be in new Aquaman movies. Who knows? They might even do something with Wonder Woman with him. Like, there's going to be like little things, and he's going to be
Supergirl and all that type stuff could come into play too. You know,
I think Jason Momoa. I think if they follow him,
or if he sticks with it. If that's something he enjoys to do and he stays with it, it could be for years.
I think if anything, he's going to be the only way that DC is going to be able to catch up with the MCU. That's the way I feel.
I definitely think they're not going to be able to replace him as Aquaman and still make another Aquaman.
No, they could.
Movie. If he doesn't continue with this, that Aquaman tagline or whatever.
Yeah, it's gone. It's out the window.
Out, you know.
I mean, it's kind of like Chris Hemsworth with Thor. You take Chris Hemsworth away from Thor, you don't have a Thor. I mean, you can maybe replace Iron Man. I don't know. I would say, if I had to guess, I would say no. But
I just don't.
It's going to be hard to see Robert Downey Jr. as not Iron Man.
playing Iron Man. Yeah,
I mean,
he was Tony Stark.
I was not a fan.
Well, you know, I mean, neither. I'm not
a
fan. And when I heard he was doing Iron Man, I was just like, I don't even have an interest in this either.
It just seemed like some washed up.
But eventually, I watched them all.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I enjoyed the Iron Man movies.
I liked the Iron Man.
I did. I thought the Iron Man was good.
I didn't much care once they got into the Avenger thing. Like, that kind of.
I think the Avengers. I think there's a case that can be made. Maybe the Avengers is a little bit overrated. I think in my eyes. I mean, yeah, it made. I think people they look at like box office things and they're like, oh well, you know, it broke all these box office records. But I think at the end of the day, I think it was a little bit overrated.
Yeah.
But I think overall, I think
Definitely.
he did great as Khal Drogo. I think a lot of Game of Thrones fans would enjoy. But I think he did even better. I think he made more of a mark as
You're
Aquaman.
right.
All right. So,
if you like the content, please subscribe, comment, and share, like, all that. Please.
Take care, guys.